explain. This is technical, but I have to do what I have to do. So guys, I was about to actually bring out the right to reply by Gloria, to Gloria Roba by Maverick when something happened. I can't know what happened, but you can actually come online and we continue with that. It happens. Most times it has happened. Sometimes I control it, sometimes I can't. So guys, welcome on board and let's proceed. Adhere to the community guidelines, consider that there is a specific topic we're talking about. And of course, as I said, I won't play everything that Maverick says. Sometimes she can be very vulgar. But the essence is that when I listen to her conversation, actually, instead of addressing matters, she was more of focusing on the past, or rather, that part that she knows. I don't know. Maybe you people will be helping me to understand whether her response was actually focused on Oroba or on her morphology and the rest, And of course, she started by showing that she's targeted. Yeah? And then later on now brought in aspects of Oroba. So guys, I'm just waiting to see somebody online before I can proceed, because a streamline actually needs clients. Yeah? So I don't know if you have watched what Maverick shared as a response to Ikonini podcast, Mwafrika and Gloria Oroba. Of course, we will tend to forget about what she said about the podcast, because the podcast as a platform, you get to interview people, and what they say, you may not control it. Sometimes you may try to cool them down or calm them down, but they'll keep attacking. So in that interview, I actually listened carefully, and Oroba was there so much attacking Sifuna, indicating how hypocritical he is, that people see him differently, but on the ground, he is not what he is, He also attacked Khalwale, partly, and he also talked about, was it Sakaja? But in the same address, she also mentioned something to do with Maverick, because Maverick, of course, when you're a popular figure, she seems to have information about people, yeah, even about what is happening in government and all that. We remember during Sabasaba demonstrations, she came out with some information that really became truthful, So we may not ignore so much about how she deals with things, but then I just want you to listen to how she had to respond to Gloria Oroba's interview at Ikonini, and maybe what is your judgment? What do you think? Is there a better way she would have expressed her thoughts, or is this the best way she would have done it? So let's go for it. I hope it won't hang again. Oh.
Sense, unless you learn up a statistic like Albert John, rest in peace, comrade, because the government has decided to make some of us enemies of the state. So if you check my tweets some days ago, manze ilibidi tu nimeenda missing kiasi. Now there's some few issues that I need to address. Number one is Gloria Roba talking about me on a YouTube channel. Number two, new Jingaya dialogue that Raila is trying to push for. And number three, ni issue ya Matiang'i. So I'll make 3 different videos. So starting na issue ya Gloria Oroba. I mean, if you go on YouTube, and I am addressing Mwafrika and the Ikonini channel, if you sojourn the streets of YouTube, you will not have a shortage, rather, of channels that glean their content from AOKO. It's either what I tweeted, something happening in my life, some innuendo, some conjecture. I understand. I mean, it's fathomable because out here folks are just trying to butter their bread. Now, Ikonini channel and Mwafrika, you're a platform. However, I take absolute umbrage with the fact that whenever you're seeking relevance and numbers, you bring guests to talk about AOKO. First of all, it was who? Andrew Kibe, who tried to resuscitate his dwindling social media relevance by attacking me. And because girl also has got her arsenal, nilimnyorosha vizuri akaachana na mimi. So juzi mmeleta malaya wa Ruto called Gloria Roba.
Guys, the lady is saying she's afraid about her welfare, or rather she's under security threat, but she's still mentioning Gloria as the prostitute of Ruto. Question mark. Do you think she's telling the truth, that she's under threat? Because if she was on threat, how difficult would it be for the government to go for her? If they went for Ojwang, who was in his village in Homa Bay, who are they not to track where Maverick is and go for her? So is she really under threat? I don't know. Maybe people who know about Maverick so much. Sometimes I just get to talk about her once in a while and keep quiet. So she's here proving that she normally irons. She normally irons people when they talk about her. And now she's warning YouTube fellas to stop using her name to get, to make bread, you know. And specifically Mwafrika, who has been bringing people to talk about her, raising their platforms by mentioning her, you know. So let's now get to where she begins to attack Gloria. Of course, she has started, if you are very keen, she has started by calling her Malaya wa Ruto. For those who don't understand Kiswahili, she is indicating that she is the prostitute of Ruto, whatever it means. Now she went further to talk more and more.
All in the guise of talking about my tweets, trying to justify why social media needs to be regulated, started talking about AOKO. First of all, Gloria Oruoba is nothing but a bitter, frustrated, single mother whose lipstick is brighter than her reason.
Hey, a Pandora of flames. She has unleashed a Pandora. Did you hear that? She called Gloria Oruoba dull than her lipstick, that she always brightened herself with lipstick. I don't know what is makeup for anyway, guys. I've done some little makeup, like I have eye pencil and I have some little lipstick. Is it brightening my face? Tell me. Of course, lipstick, eye pencil, whatever, they are there to glitter stuff. So AOKO begins with a discourse of abuse, unleashing a Pandora of flames to Gloria. And she started slowly by first calling Oruoba a prostitute of the president of Kenya. She went further to now say she brightens herself with lipstick. However, she's not bright. You know, like Mumu for the Nigerians in the house. God forbid.
I mean, you know, when your thinking is as dull as how you look, you try to brighten your existence by applying pink, maroon, I don't know what hue of lipstick. When in essence, unakaa kama kitu ilizaliwa through mkundu usiku. Sorry, someone was calling me.
Now guys, when Maverick switches to Kiswahili, know that she's unleashing the worst of the worst. I don't want to talk about it here because YouTube does not allow that. I don't know. So she unleashed just another Pandora. If for those who understand Kiswahili, you know what she has said. You know? When somebody goes to the level of now discussing you in relation to how you are born, I think they're just on another level. On another level.
When small businesses go from zero to any...
This advertisement will kill us someday.
Mine was false publication, blah blah. Yake was defamation. I mean, it's just semantics. It's the same thing. AOKO who assumedly is misusing social media platforms was entirely exonerated by the court. Yeah, yes, 2 days ago she was slapped with a 10 million fine for defaming your Senate clerk that he wanted to fuck her. During the Finance Bill 2024 address, Ruto akiita au ghasia wake pale State House, si alikuwa na shiko mashavu hivi nchini.
So she's now trying to.
She was enjoying it. After amekula matako pale Western Hotel, after wamepigania anaitwa nani Senator Speaker na that bimbo, that socialite from Samburu. Then anakuja kutuambia hapa ati, you know, a clerk or senator wanted to.
So AOKO is trying to reject that Gloria Oroba would get into any conflict with the clerk, and that she deserves to pay the 10 million shillings that she was fined for having claimed that the clerk was sexually abusing her without evidence. You get it? So when Oroba came to a platform to actually defend herself and mentioned Maverick's name, now, Maverick now has woken up and is like, I have to say all that I have to say. And she's actually using a very vulgar language. That's why I'm really avoiding to play everything, you know.
To smash me, and I refuse. I mean, Mwafrika, if you're going to call someone like Gloria Oroba, ask her why she's being impregnated left, right, and center, and those men are not marrying her. Now that you wanted to talk about personal things and personal issues.
So Maverick came here pouring all her anger, proving all the faults of Gloria, indicating that Gloria is not a married woman, but she's a single bitter woman. She has been used by a lot of politicians. She came about saying a lot of allegations and using dirty language, you know, saying that even Gloria has given birth to a child with an Indian, which I don't know whether it's her fault. The fact that Gloria Oroba went around with the other senators, you know. The fact that she was married in Norway and came back to Kenya with a toddler from there. The fact that she always says that that child is from Ghanaian, you know. So Maverick went personal. And I know that her video trended. So she proved that even though she's also single and she has a miserable life, she's not the only one. That even the senator like Gloria Oroba has just as a miserable life as herself. You know? And so she went on media ranting and saying a lot of stuff, very hard stuff and tough stuff for that sort. If you go listen to that video on Kelk's Fi, you will be surprised.
So there's no justification whatsoever. Mwanamke kwenda kwa YouTube channel afu start ranting about AOKO. Juzi wo Gloria Oroba alituambia hapa kina Sabina Cheke na kina Karen Nyamu wanapeana. So if AOKO talks about wow kupeana na ile umana.
So she went around proving that a lot of politicians are conducting immoral acts. And that reminds me that Kenya, they actually want to switch the voters' age from 18 to 16. At 16, I don't know whether the people are now going to get IDs at 16. UK is pulling for that. And at the same time, there is also a motion to pull the age that allows someone to take illicit brew. Do I call it illicit brew or alcohol to 21 from 18? So there is a two-way traffic journey here. you know, JP Bad. When and who thought that that would be a good idea? Which one? JP Bad, which idea? The idea of pulling the voters to 16 or making it's legal for people to drink from 21 and not 18. You know, formally, hello, madam. Hello, J Bad. Hello, JP Bad. That is what actually is under proposal. Wait for it, it's coming. The legal age of taking alcohol in Kenya will be 21. And the age of voting is being pushed to 16. I don't know now. What about the IDs? I'm not so sure about that, but there is something like that which is actually being pushed to us. JP Bad says it's very deceptive. I also believe so, because how do you pull an age from 18 to 16? Would you really give IDs to 16-year-old? Most of them in Kenya, they are in high school. Most of these are students in high school, hardly having finished Form 4. And those who have finished Form 4, they actually, most of them are 17. And before they go to campus, or they go to campus and 1 year later, they are now 18. You indoctrinate the kids, that's how. So they want to indoctrinate the kids into what? What do they want to indoctrinate the kids into? I would wish actually to understand, because I'm not getting the gist in this kind of proposals they want to pull ahead. And once you hear about this, you know, they always say lisemwalo lipo kama halipo linjiani laja. In Kiswahili, there's a proverb that says something that has been said is actually there. If not, it is on the way coming. So when I saw this somewhere on a political analyst channel, then I was like, really? What's that for? JP Pad says it's overstepping the bounds of parents, so making them, you know, by the time you allow a 16-year-old to have an ID, you are creating a problem in the society. Because now, like, most people will be like, I'm an adult already. In case they give them IDs, they'll feel like they're adult already. And most of them will now drop out from schools. Because most people finish school at that age. At 16, most of them are in Form 3, going to Form 4. So in case it happens that they are given IDs and they are told they are going to vote, and 2027 is coming. So I don't just know the consequence of this. Is somebody maybe believing that they have to do that so that maybe we have more voters? I don't know. It will backfire though. I hope so. I hope it backfires, because actually at 16, these people are still kind of immature. And even into election aspect, if adults are confused on who to elect and how to elect, what about 16-year-olds? They'll be just bundled, carried to go vote in a different constituency. They might even sell their IDs during elections, you know. They'll be queuing for money, and at the end of the day, they are confused. And even though they are trying to push for that age of drinking to be pushed to 21, how will they control that, you know? I'm not so sure, because, like, do you think around the restaurants, pubs, and what have you, will people be checking the IDs so that they are sure that someone is 21? Because the people will have, those 16-year-olds will have IDs. So will someone be there to check IDs for 16, 17, 18, 19, and IDs for 21? It is what it is, I don't know. So JPAD says they are creating a problem they won't be able to handle. Later on, once kids see through the system, of course, I understand, because when you look at Gen Zs, they have already seen through their system, and they are actually planning for something, the faceless, leaderless, tribalist thing. What about now these ones who are coming, the Generation Alpha are coming and more? What will happen? What will happen? Somebody mentioned, you know, the reformation, or rather, what do you call it? What happened in Libya? I don't know. I'm just trying to overthink. So guys, you've heard how Maverick actually talked in her response. And I was thinking, okay, if she wanted to address Gloria Orwoba, could she have had some sort of decency and focus on matters instead of morphology, and also use such a vulgar language? I didn't understand, because the way she talked proving that she's miserable, but she also was pulling the former Senator Gloria Orwoba at the same. And then she knows so much. I don't know how she gets these statistics about these politicians. JP Bad says, just like what happened in Iraq and Iran or elsewhere. Yeah, right. Yeah, in many other places, including even Sudan. Yeah, we saw what happened in Sudan. We saw in Nigeria, some things happened there. We've seen even currently, for those who are looking at Togo, we have the young militia in the forest, Alice, hi. Welcome on board. Thank you so much for showing up for me. Big up to you. Yeah, so it's quite true that when young people are given that power to vote, they may not understand what voting is, and instead, there are so many things that are going to come about, more than just what they expected. Yeah, so I didn't understand why Maverick decided to be very a wreckage. JP Pad says, you create political parties and use tribalism to elevate a monetary in a system for as long as you can. Minority. Oh, okay. You create political parties and use tribalism to elevate minority in a system for as long as you can. That's exactly what is happening in Kenya. And you can see that everybody is standing up with a political party, and they are standing with their... However much people have tried to say that the narrative of tribalism will not work, it's still really strong in Kenya. Because when I look at the aspects like even the empowerment, even though Sudi was countering this and saying that that's not what is happening, but when you go to the ground, that's exactly what is happening. When you look at also the Mrima, argument around Gachagua, you just see that that's the same thing that is happening. You look around Matiang'i and Maraga. I don't know why Maraga and Matiang'i came up with two different platforms in the same vicinity. I don't know. I wish if these people are actually focused towards the welfare of the citizens, they really focus on which development strategies they should bring to the ground, instead of such things as what they are doing. Even recently when Gloria Orwoba was also being interviewed, she really sold the narrative of tribalism, And she was there saying, my uncle Matiang, my uncle Matiang. And I was like, all right. So no wonder you are supporting Matiang, They'll tell you that's not what's happening, and you see it for yourself, and still yet they say no. Right. Because look at how Gachagua was when he went to Seattle in the cultural party, cultural event. He kept speaking even in Kikuyu. The dances that were there were purely Kikuyu. Look at Matiang while he's even in Kisii. What does he do? Address his people in his language. There are things he sells to his people. You look at them coming to Western, they'll have to make sure Eugene stands. Eugene will stand and speak to the people in mother tongue. Natembea will do the same, This is why people respond in the manners they did and do. And I wish that actually Kenyans wake up, especially the voters, if they only wake up and realize that we have two tribes in this country, the rich and the poor, the ruling and the subjects. If people understood that Smith theory that he came up with at once to inform us why leaders want us poor all the time, they'll make sure that the economy is so tough, so that you will be desperate and all the time crying, They'll create wars amongst themselves. Those wars are not meant to save the citizens or serve them, but they are meant to serve their own interests. They are meant to reserve them on their seats. They are meant to actually make them change platforms and stay on. That is the system in Kenya. That is the system. I wish many people would be contributing the way JP pad is actually doing. He's really bringing a very good platform for discussions of the politics in Kenya. And of course, having started what I did earlier, showing what Maverick is actually showing out of these leaders. Maverick has a lot of stuff. She shows on her tweets. She shows on her discussions. She says she's a victim of the same system, and she became a miserable individual, you know. And she represents now everybody. She does not speak for a specific area. But when you look at the leaders on the other way, they actually split a nation to a weaker one. And through that splitting platform, like you seen the other day, Nyoro was talking about why, for example, the price of fuel has gone down. And I was like, all this while you never informed us. Why did you keep quiet when you are in the government, then walked out and started speaking? Malala the same. Cleophas Malala was quiet when he was the senator of Kakamega. Of course, he was very close to the government and supporting it, only until he walked out. Khalwale has been very close to Ruto. If we look at many of his debates, he's supporting the government most of the times. Recently, he's come out now telling Ruto, you are not listening to me. You are listening to those people who are talking to you, and you are going to fall down. Maybe he's just seeking a platform back to, recognition. Like he's talking about Mudavadi and saying that he's the one who brought Mudavadi to the Luya nation. And I'm like, okay, so we have a Luya nation, we have the Murima nation, we have the, which other? The Kalenjin nation. And some are now saying we have the Kamba nation. They will even say there is an Embu nation. Now, somebody also was saying that when you look at the release of the police on people, that actually the president has tried to restrain from sending the police during demonstrations to Nyanza. How true that is, maybe people should understand here and share out, give comments whether now or later. JP Pardo still says the leaders don't suffer, the people do. Indeed, we are the people who suffer. After all, even if prices of goods have gone high, how does a political leader feel? The other day, Gloria herself or Robert came to an interview justifying how they sign for marriage. Even if you stay in Nairobi, you still sign for marriage, indicating that you come from Western or Embu. When they go for those trips, we just see them on TV that they have gone to Geneva, they have gone to wherever, only that they pocket around 2.5 million, 1.5 million, right? And other privileges. And when they go there, they have an opportunity to run businesses even in those states that they go to. They are also competing with us in making content, actually. Like Karen Nyamu is posting every day, and a lot of people watch her. They wouldn't watch me as much as they watch her, When you go to Salasia, he's doing the same. Even Ruto himself doing the same. And every other political leader, they have realized that platforms pay. And so they are using those platforms, whether to gain fame, at the same time present whatever they want to say and show us the kind of life, Yeah. And the police, as JPED has said, they do a lot of mess. I don't know what they gain. I've not actually tried to understand how the Kenyan police gain from whatever they do. Like when the police come for people, when they beat them around the streets and also spare the goons, what exactly do they gain? Are they paid at the end of the month? Do they have the gigs they receive? Do they have a set aside salary? Or do they just do that out of, selfishness or false promise or promotions? There's a lot of things that get to happen around us. You may even never finish. If you start ranting about it, you'll never finish. But I wish that people would just understand these things. And if they understand it, I don't know what we'll do to actually turn the narrative. Yeah? Of course, once they get money, they receive a lot of possessions. Like you'll find a mere MC gets to an office with nothing. But within maybe 6 months, they have done construction of so many houses from where they come from. They have a very good car. They are buying farms or land all over, left, right, center, And once they do that, now they have to ensure that they are voted every 5 years. So they defend that seat very selfishly, greedily, and brutally. They can even kill somebody because they know what is there. And they don't want it to be lost. Because once they have that power, sometimes they have ability to protect themselves by controlling the everything to do with the legal aspects, judiciary, and everything else. Somebody said that is the coups that are held within the country. You know, we have those silent coups that we don't talk about, but these are the coups, the kind of coups that really are there. When they come on the street and tell us that demonstration brought coups, propose better salaries, they propose trips to different destinations. In a year, somebody will even go for 10, and you can imagine if that is 1.5 million on each, how much is that, you know? Who makes that? Even as much as they go shouting around that this year they have employed so many teachers, so what? They employ so many teachers because the system has changed and they need more teachers. Because this system has additional classes, 2 more classes, you know, even under the junior secondary. Junior secondary has at least added 1 class. So it's like the former Form 2. Now students will be coming to high school at grade 10 as, you know, having gone through 1 more class. When they come to high school again, we are hearing the narrative of 6 years, which we are not very sure of because we have not even engaged in anything. I hear that possibly between 25th of 25th of July and 15th, they'll be taking teachers through a seminar of 1 week. Imagine, 1 week seminar, and they believe they're enough already to handle those students and whatever curriculum they are bringing, you know. Ridiculous, very ridiculous. That is the satire of a nation, you know. Something that before the right of Aminata, before Francis Mbuga's demise, he used to write a lot about such stuff. He would have come out with a book. I think I should come out with a drama book on such, you know, because John Lara has written a book, but it's much about the satirical aspects in the corridors of economy rather than education. But there's a lot of drama that has happened around education. You've seen starting from financing universities to the aspect of capitation, to the aspect of actually having students run through the system softly. And they have been telling us that just stay calm because things are shaping up. We don't know. My kid is in grade 9 and I don't know how it is shaping up, but I'm so afraid about their fate because it's like they're in darkness, groping. Their eyes are closed, they're groping for where to touch, you know, so that they can move ahead to the next step. And I'm really sympathizing with them and wishing that maybe we should have a way forward that will make these children better, because being guinea pig sample, they have gone through a lot. The change of units, the change of even the selection itself, it's not clear to everybody, very clear. So guys, back to Maverick AOKO's response. I feel like however much he did the response to her, the obscenity in it really put me off at some point, you know. But still, when you listen to it, it's revealing a lot about the leaders. I don't know what we'll do in Kenya. And maybe Orobo was coming out to represent the rest of the leaders in ensuring that whatever they do in darkness is not revealed. Because when they say that now they don't want people to talk about what they do, or rather they should prevent, or rather sensitize, or is it vetting, that automatically means that some of the things we have been hearing about them doing will no longer come out. What do you feel about Babu Wino vying for the gubernatorial seat of Nairobi? You know, what about this guy Wanyonyi vying for the gubernatorial seat of Bungoma? You know, what is your thought? And where do you think Kuria has gone? I still ask that question. Where is Kuria? And what about Gachagua? What exactly did he go to do in the US for 1 month? Yeah. Do you think he's soliciting for funds or seeking support, or what exactly is Gachagua doing abroad? And do you think once he comes, they'll pick him for the candidate on the opposition, or who exactly, because there were such questions people were asking revolving around who should pick up. If I may just play a few clips, because I don't want to really dwell deep into that. Let me look for it. I saw something here.
Of course, Australia is always ahead of.
Let's look into it. There's something political here. Yeah, let's look into this one.
With the support it's getting.
Work today is broken. We're all working in too many disconnected apps, and it's killing team productivity.
Which Kenyans are currently asking. And asking.
We check on the water. If it's ready, they go back before it's very cold.
It's obvious Ruto should be defeated. But where is the man to beat Ruto? Ruto himself has said he can't see anybody. Maybe he's right. So I look at 2027 and I look around and ask Kenyans, you are suffering under the burden imposed by these people, this government. You have votes that can remove Ruto from power. Are you going to do it? I don't see that effort. And therefore, on this 8th day of February, 2025, I look at the 2027 and I see Matiang'i struggling with Omtata. I see Jimmy Wanjigi struggling with Kalonzo Musyoka. I look at these struggles and wonder, will they produce a person, one person strong enough to defeat Ruto?
Amesema anataka kiti ya urais. Mimi Kalonzo anataka kiti ya urais. Mimi napigania kiti cha urais. Martha Karua anapigania kiti cha urais. Kalonzo anapigania kiti cha urais. Matiang'i anapigania kiti cha urais. Yuki na Maro anapigania kiti cha urais. Na tunaendelea kutafuta bora. Pale mwisho tutaongea. Na sisi tutasikizana, tutawachia mtu mmoja. Hakuna shida, nitaunga mkono. Lazima huyu jamaa aende nyumbani. Lazima ile formula ambaye tukiona unasikia. Yes.
Now, guys, you understand very well that sometimes politics creates selfish individuals. And Gachagua came up when he was asked in an interview whether he can relent the seat to somebody else once it's they are given a chance, and he said yes. But how true is that, you know? I'm looking at the ground and it's almost like Maraga is standing up, Matiang'i is standing up, Kalonzo is standing up, and none of them seems to be actually seeing that they may not win, you know? So will it turn into a tug of war, and maybe they stand, or rather vie, as so many of them? And of course, when you listen at Ruto, there is something he said. I want you to listen at it.
Kwa mtihani. Hiyo mtihani tutafanya 2027. Mimi niko tayari kwa hiyo mtihani. Yes. Mtakuja mniulize. Mambo ya uchumi mtajibu. Mambo ya kilimo mtajionea wenyewe. Mambo ya SHA mtaniambia. Mambo ya affordable housing na mambo ya markets na mambo ya hostels na mambo ya ajira ya vijana mtaniambia. Na mtaniambia nani yako na mpango bora kuliko hii mimi niko naye.
Hey, so Lekwinyi actually was doing an analysis and he was presenting those clips, and of course those clips are all over the place, you know. And I sat down and said, okay, so these many candidates that are showing up, what is the problem? Why don't they want to pick one person early? Do they feel like wrangles will start early, or what exactly is happening here? Because if they have you know, a joint movement like what happens in Jamaica, you see JLP, PNP, they pick candidates from the on-go. When you look at Cote d'Ivoire, though it's a dictatorial country with one person leading forever, they pick from early. So what about this situation in Kenya where we have so many people actually wanting to go into leadership and they are not picking one candidate earlier? Let's see Matiang. Matiang also spoke at some point. Let's see what he says before we get to... Yeah, Matiang was here. He spoke. These advertisements, really, I don't know who will work against them. Hey.
Moja, kusaidia nchi yetu na kutatua shida tulizo nazo katika nchi ya Kenya. Nyinyi wananchi, nataka kuwauliza kwa ukweli, museme kabisa kwa kauli moja, nyinyi mumetosheka pia na uongozi wa taifa letu kweli? Muna furaha nao? Wameweza kazi ama wamelemewa? Wameweza kazi ama wamelemewa? Tumekuja hapo kwa sababu wamelemewa. Sasa tunasema tunataka kuichukua hiyo Canada, utaangalia tu.
Guys, everybody is campaigning. Go to platforms for Kalonzo Musyoka. He's talking about himself as the real G. Talk about Maraga. He's campaigning and saying that he's the real deal. You come to Eugene Wamalwa, he's saying that he's the real bull. You come to Natembea, he's proving that he's that who will save the Luya nation. You come to Gachagua, he's like the Murima will have to be rescued by him because his aunt told him against Ruto. And you go to Busia, Okia Mtata is there, it's like 2027 I'm there. So what is what? Let's look at this finally.
In 2007 they marry. Kwa sababu 2007 tutasema hivi, the whole of Mount Kenya region, walipigia kura Mwai Kibaki. The whole of Mount Kenya region to the last man. Ukikuja kule Kisii, Wakisii walikuwa na nani? Walienda kwa through Anyatai wakapigia Kibaki kura. That is why Ruto alipoenda kule akashambuliwa kule. Ukienda kule kwingine kwa Ukambani, Kalonzo alisimama na ODMK na akasema kuwa atapita katikati. So kura ya Ukambani ilienda na Kalonzo, kura ya Kisii ilienda na nani? Na Kibaki. Kura ya Mount Kenya ilienda na nani? Na Kibaki. The same Gachagua now, who is replacing Kibaki, has taken Mount Kenya. We are taking 100%. Hatuulizi kule. Sasa ukipiga hii hesabu, uangalie, na mimi nauliza 2007 nani alishinda? And that is why ukiangalia katika 2027 kuna award ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa Pentagon. Hii Pentagon ilikuwa na Raila, ilikuwa na Ruto, ilikuwa na Balala, ilikuwa na Mdavadi na ilikuwa na Nyaga. Mwenye ana replace Nyaga saa hizi ni ule Kindiki. Na Kindiki anakuja na kura yote ya Tharaka Nithi. All set constant, Tharaka Nithi will come with Kindiki. Maana huko ndio anatoka.
Kwani Kindiki is in the government. How else?
Sema Embu yasa kwenda kwingine, lakini Tharaka Nithi inakuja na Kindiki. Aya, ukikuja mara kule western now kwende the whole of western region. Ukumbuke kwa Bukusu region, Bungoma, during that time through Muskarikombo they voted Kibaki. But at this time now we are assuming that the Bukusu vote is going to Natembea. So there is no any so mimi nakuja nasema hivi, by 2027 this is now the demographic or the performance of the election.
All right, so you can hear all the noise around, but what we believe in Life Saga TV is everybody, let's think, let's be sober. However much you will collect money from people and all that, you'll drink, you will get some sugar. Don't be confused. There is 5 years ahead of you after election. How will life be? Will it be better or worse? So bye-bye for now. Adios. Thank you for staying online. 44 minutes and about 12 seconds. Of course, it will be 45 minutes by the time I finish speaking. Goodos, keep supporting me. I really look forward to have at least 1,000 subscribers to start with. And then from there, we can see where we'll be getting to. And send me anything to do with what I have to discuss, because politics is so hot. Every day there are news trickling in. Well, let it be any political aspect from Kenya, Africa at large, Europe, UK, and I'll be here to analyze them. Bye-bye. Thank you for your support and your presence here, especially today. JP Bado, you are great. You are a real G. Alice, you are great also. The rest of you didn't show up maybe in the chat, but I really appreciate it. Don't take it for granted. You are very wonderful people. Big up to you. Have a nice Sunday tomorrow. And of course, if I get a chance, I'll be doing another live stream today or maybe tomorrow. Let's see what God will decide for us. Bye-bye for now. Great time.